Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something, well, pretty central to modern city life, parking.
Ah, yes, the daily struggle for many.
Exactly. We've got the Global Smart Parking Technologies Market Report 2025 from Cognitive Market Research here. And our mission, for you, the learner, is really to cut through all the data.
Yeah, to get a clear picture of where smart parking tech is now and where it's heading.
Without getting totally lost in the weeds.
Yeah.
We wanted to understand how tech is trying to fix that, universal headache of finding a spot.
Right.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Why is this market catching so much attention right now?
Well, the first thing that really jumps out is just the sheer scale we're talking about.
Yeah.
And the growth, the expected growth.
Okay.
So in 2025, the global value is pegged at USD 624.5 million. That's already pretty big.
Over $6.5 billion.
Right. But then looking out to 2033, the report projects this number to absolutely skyrocket.
Skyrocket how much?
To over USD 33 billion. The exact figure is USD 33592.46041 million.
Wow. Okay, going from 6-point-something billion to over 33 billion in, what, just 8 years? That's not just steady growth. That really is like a rocket launch, as you said.
It translates to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 22.52%, which is, well, impressive.
22.5% CAGR. So what's the engine behind this massive acceleration? What's fueling it?
The report points to a primary driver, the continued rise in vehicle ownership across the globe.
Makes sense. More cars.
Exactly. As more people own cars, especially in, our increasingly crowded cities, the existing parking infrastructure it can't keep up.
Right, it's strained.
Very. And that creates this huge demand for smarter, much more efficient solutions.
So it's that fundamental problem. More cars fighting for limited spots, and smart tech is stepping in as the mediator, sort of.
Precisely.
Now, geographically, where is this smart parking revolution most advanced? Let's get into that regional breakdown.
Okay, so currently North America leads the pack. They hold over 40% of the global market share in 2025.
40%. Wow.
Yeah, valued at USD 451.07 million. And their projected CAGR is strong too, 20.8% through 2033.
And within North America?
The U.S. market is dominant, USD 1933.89 million with a 20.6% CAGR. Then you have Canada at USD 294.13 million, growing slightly faster at 21.6% CAGR.
Good.
And Mexico at USD 223.05 million with a 21.3% CAGR.
So North America's out front. What gives them that edge? Is it just more cars per capita, or are there other dynamics?
It seems to be a mix of things. The report mentions rapid urbanization, which naturally concentrates parking demand, right?
More people in cities.
But also, there's a strong appetite there for efficient and, importantly, sustainable solutions. Plus, there's widespread adoption of enabling tech. Things like IoT, the Internet of Things, sensors, cloud computing, basically things talking to each other, sharing data. Then add in government investments in smart city initiatives, very high smartphone usage, which makes app-based parking solutions easy to roll out, and a definite push to reduce the carbon footprint.
Yeah, that mix of tech readiness and government support sounds powerful. What about Europe? How does it stack up?
Europe is the second largest market. It accounts for just over 30% globally.
Okay, still significant.
Very. That's USD 1921.11 million in 2025. And they have a projected CAGR of 21.4%. So also growing very robustly.
And within Europe, are there standout countries?
Yeah, there's significant activity across the board. The UK is estimated around USD 322.75 million with a 22.2% CAGR. Germany is even bigger at USD 376.38 million, 21.6% CAGR. Russia is quite large too, almost USD 300 million, 227.77 million, 20.4% CAGR. Italy, around USD 165 million, 20.8%. And Spain, about USD 157 million, 20.5% CAGR.
So really competitive and active landscape in Europe as well. What's driving their adoption? Similar factors to North America?
There are definitely parallels, yeah. Urbanization, traffic congestion, those are major headaches they're trying to solve. But Europe also has a particularly strong emphasis on sustainability and, green initiatives. Smart parking fits right into that by cutting down search times, which reduces emissions.
Good point. Less circling the blocks.
Exactly. Plus, you have advancements in IoT and AI, proactive government support for smart city projects, a very strong automotive sector, and increasing EV adoption, which often comes with demands for smarter charging and parking infrastructure.
Okay, now let's shift focus eastward to Asia Pacific. We always hear about rapid tech adoption there. How does smart parking fit in?
You're absolutely right. APAC is incredibly dynamic. Currently, it holds around 23% of the global market,
Okay, about a quarter.
valued at USD 1,589.88 million in 2025. But here's the really interesting part. It has the highest projected CAGR of all regions,
The highest, is it?
a remarkable 25.6% from 2025 to 2033.
Wow, over 25% growth per year. That's huge. Which countries are leading there?
Key markets include China, which is the largest in the region at USD 667.75 million, growing at 25.1%. Japan is next, USD 219.40 million, 24.1% CAGR. South Korea, USD 190.79 million, 24.7%. And then India, check this out, USD 158.99 million, but with a massive 27.5% CAGR.
India at 27.5%. That's phenomenal growth potential.
It really is. Then you have Australia, about USD 82 million, 24.80 million, 25.9% CAGR.
So what's fueling this explosion in APAC? Is it just plain catch-up?
I think it's more than just catch-up. Yes, urbanization and traffic are huge issues, but the sheer scale of these challenges in many APAC megacities creates an intense, pressing need for solutions.
Necessity driving innovation.
Exactly. There's a massive push for smart city tech, often with very strong government backing and significant private sector investment, too. Rising incomes mean more cars.
Right.
And the rapid uptake of EVs adds another layer, demanding smarter infrastructure. Plus, that focus on sustainable urban development is a big factor across the region.
It really sounds like APAC is where the growth story is most dramatic right now. What about the other regions mentioned in the report? South America, the Middle East, Africa.
Okay, South America holds a bit over 5% of the global market. That's USD 251.73 million in 2025, with a healthy KGR projected at 23.3%.
Still strong growth. Key markets there.
Brazil leads, USD 107.74 million, growing at 23.9%. Argentina is next, about USD 42 million, 24.2% KGR. Then you have Colombia, Peru, Chile, all showing KGRs in the 23-24% range.
And the drivers? Similar story?
Pretty similar, yes. Increasing urbanization, more cars on the road, traffic headaches, government investments kicking in for smarter infrastructure, sustainability becoming more important, and growing IoT adoption, mobile apps playing a role.
Got it. And the Middle East?
The Middle East accounts for around 2% of the global total, so smaller share but still significant value, USD 264.98 million in 2025. And their CAGR is strong too, 24.0%.
Interesting. A slightly higher CGR than South America even. Who are the key players?
Saudi Arabia is the largest, about USD 93 million, 24.3% CAGR. The UAE is next, around USD 54 million, growing even faster at 24.5%. Then Turkey, Qatar, Egypt, all showing KGRs between 23.5% and 24.6%.
And the drivers there? I imagine smart city initiatives are big.
Absolutely. There's huge demand for innovative urban solutions fueled by rapid urbanization and rising vehicle numbers. Governments are pouring money into ambitious smart city projects, and intelligent parking is seen as, well, essential. You see strong adoption of IoT, mobile apps, cloud systems to support this.
Makes sense given the development focus in parts of that region. Lastly, Africa. What does the picture look like there?
Africa currently holds the smallest share, around 1%. That translates to USD 145.74 million in 2025, with a projected CGR of 22.8%.
Okay, still growing over 20% annually. Where's the activity concentrated?
South Africa is the largest market by far, about USD 51 million, growing at 23.7%. Nigeria is much smaller, around USD 11-12 million, but still growing at 23.0%.
And the growth factors in Africa?
It's driven by those fundamental urban challenges again. Rapid urbanization, more cars, worsening traffic. Governments are starting to initiate infrastructure and smart city projects. There's growing demand for efficiency, sustainability.
Great.
Environmental concerns play a role too. You're seeing advancements in IoT and AI being adopted, sometimes through public-private partnerships or with foreign investment, helping to kickstart projects.
So it's a really diverse global picture, different starting points, different scales, but almost universally pointing towards significant growth in smart parking tech.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's drill down a bit more into the technology itself. What are the key segments within this market? Where's the most innovation or fastest growth happening?
Well, the report flags cloud-based parking management systems as the fastest-growing segment overall.
Cloud-based systems, so software mainly.
Essentially, yes. Think of software platforms that let parking operators manage everything remotely. They can track occupancy live, handle payments digitally, maybe offer reservations via apps. The big advantages are scalability and accessibility. You can manage multiple sites from anywhere.
That makes total sense in our connected world. What about the actual parking spaces? Off-street, on-street? Where's the smart tech mostly being applied?
Currently, off-street parking really dominates. So we're talking parking garages, dedicated lots.
By there primarily.
It's largely because those are more controlled environments. It's just easier to install and manage sensors, cameras, gates, that sort of thing.
Right, you control the space.
Exactly. Plus, they handle large volumes, and smart tech is crucial for maximizing how you use that space, reducing internal congestion, improving the user experience. With cities getting denser and on-street parking disappearing, optimizing these off-street facilities is a huge priority.
But are we seeing growth in applying smart tech elsewhere, like
Yeah.
simpler lots?
Yes, definitely. Single-level parking systems are seeing rapid growth in smart tech adoption.
So like surface lots.
Right. The appeal here is partly cost effectiveness, but also the efficiency gains. Using sensors and data to simply guide drivers to an open spot in a large surface lot can save a lot of time and frustration.
Makes sense.
And as cities get denser, even optimizing these apparently simple areas matters. Plus, thinking ahead to EVs needing chargers or maybe autonomous cars, having real-time data on every spot becomes valuable.
Interesting. Even basic parking gets a tech upgrade. Now, the physical bit's the hardware. What's leading the way there? Sensors, meters?
Hardware components, as a category, hold the largest market share right now.
Which makes sense. You need the physical stuff.
You do. This includes all the essentials: sensors to detect if a car is there, cameras for maybe surveillance or license plate reading, smart parking meters that handle digital payments, controllers managing the data flow.
The nuts and bolts.
Pretty much. They're foundational for collecting the real-time data and making the whole system operate efficiently. And as cities get more jammed, the need for better hardware, more accurate, more connected, just keeps growing.
Within that hardware category, are any specific components growing particularly fast?
Absolutely. Parking sensors are highlighted as the fastest growing component segment,
Which kinds?
especially ultrasonic, the ones using sound waves, and radar sensors using radio waves. Both are good at accurately detecting if a space is occupied or not.
And that's key data.
It's the bedrock for so many smart parking apps and management systems. Knowing occupancy in real time is crucial. Plus, they're becoming more cost-effective, easier to install, which helps drive adoption, especially in these big smart city pushes.
So sensors are fundamental.
Yeah.
How are these bits integrated? Which systems are most common?
Currently, ground sensor technology dominates the systems market,
Sensors in the ground, basically.
or on the surface, yeah, embedded right in the parking space. They tend to offer high accuracy for detecting occupancy.
And accuracy is key for trust, right?
Definitely. If the app says a spot is free, it better be free. This reliable data feeds the driver apps and the operator dashboards. They're also generally cost-effective, fairly easy to deploy, low maintenance, a solid solution. And they could integrate well with autonomous vehicles down the line.
Okay, ground sensors are dominant. What system types are growing fastest?
Counter technology is flagged as rapidly expanding.
Counter technology, what does that entail?
It's a bit more holistic. It goes beyond just detecting occupancy. It integrates that sensor data with things like automated payment systems and quite sophisticated data analytics.
So managing the whole flow.
Right. Streamlining the whole parking process, optimizing space use dynamically, reducing bottlenecks. It ties into that sustainable city goal, too. Less searching means lower emissions. Continuous R&D and better integration with mobile platforms are really fueling its growth.
It sounds like the trend is towards systems that don't just find you a spot, but handle the whole experience, payment included.
That seems to be the direction, yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. How are these technologies being applied? What are the main use cases?
The dominant application right now is parking payment management.
Handling the money.
Exactly. Modernizing how people pay. Moving away from digging for coins to using apps, contactless payments, digital wallets.
Convenience is king.
Huge driver. Both for users, it's just easier, and for operators. They get better revenue tracking, less cash handling, potentially dynamic pricing capabilities. Smartphone ubiquity has really enabled this.
Makes sense. And which applications are growing fastest?
Parking reservation management is seeing rapid growth.
Booking a spot in advance.
Like booking a movie ticket or a restaurant table. It guarantees you a spot, which reduces stress and that awful circling.
I can see the appeal.
And for operators, it allows them to manage demand better, optimize space, maybe charge a premium for reserved spots. As cities get more congested, the value of securing parking ahead of time just goes up and up.
Definitely relates to the smart city initiatives we talked about. Okay, last piece of the puzzle. Who are the end users? Who's actually implementing and using this tech?
Government institutions are currently the dominant end-use segment.
Governments. How so?
They play a massive role. Through regulations, maybe mandating certain tech and new developments, offering incentives for adoption, and directly investing in smart parking for public lots and streets as part of those larger smart city strategies.
So setting the rules and funding projects.
Right. Their focus is usually on improving overall urban mobility, sustainability, making the city run more efficiently. Public-private partnerships are also really common for getting these big, complex projects off the ground.
Okay, so governments lead. Which end-user group is adopting fastest?
Hospitals are identified as a rapidly growing end-use segment.
Hospitals.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Why them specifically?
Well, think about it. Parking at hospitals can be incredibly stressful, right? For patients, for visitors, even for staff. Time is often critical.
Absolutely. Finding a spot quickly is important.
Exactly. So smart systems that use sensors and apps to guide people directly to an available space can make a huge difference. It reduces congestion around the hospital, saves valuable time, and just generally improves the patient and visitor experience. Plus, it helps the hospital run more smoothly from an operational standpoint.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, this gives us a really solid, comprehensive view of the market. We've covered the size, the huge growth, the regional variations, the key tech segments, the applications, the users. To sort of wrap things up, what are the big takeaways, the main drivers, potential roadblocks, and maybe the key trends to watch?
Sure. So the key drivers the report emphasizes are, first, those rising city populations, just more people needing to park.
Urbanization pressure.
Right. Second, government investment in intelligent infrastructure, that smart city push, is crucial. And third, ongoing advancements in automation tech, making these systems smarter and easier to use.
And on the flip side, what could slow things down? The restraints.
A key one mentioned is the initial cost. Implementing some of this infrastructure, especially sensors across large areas or sophisticated management systems, can be expensive.
Yeah.
That can be a barrier, particularly for smaller cities or private operators.
The upfront investment hurdle.
Exactly. And also compatibility issues. Making new smart systems work smoothly with older, existing parking infrastructure isn't always straightforward.
Integration challenges. Okay. And looking forward, the key trends.
Definitely AI-powered automation. That promises even more sophisticated management, like predicting parking demand, optimizing pricing in real time, maybe even guiding autonomous vehicles.
Thinking predictive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other big one is IoT integration continuing to deepen. Having parking systems seamlessly communicate with traffic management, public transport, navigation apps, creating a truly connected urban environment.
Got it. And what about the companies involved? What's the competitive scene like?
It's described as highly competitive. You've got major established players, names like Bosch, Siemens, IRIX are mentioned, heavily investing in IoT, AI, cloud solutions.
The big tech and industrial players.
Right. But you also see a lot of innovation coming from startups and smaller, more specialized firms. They might focus on niche areas like fully automated valet parking, unique app-based platforms, or cutting-edge sensor tech.
So a mix of giants and innovators.
Definitely. And you see a lot of strategic partnerships, mergers, acquisitions as companies try to build more complete offerings. The report gives a real-world example, too, the Navi Mumbai Municipal Corporation in India.
Ah, yes. NMMC. What are they doing?
They're developing 56 modern parking lots using technology that includes online reservations. It's a concrete example of a city authority using this tech to tackle parking problems head-on.
That NMMC example really grounds it. Okay,
Yeah.
so quick recap for everyone listening. We're looking at a global smart parking market poised for massive growth. Think 22.5% CAGR.
Huge numbers.
North America and Europe lead currently, but Asia Pacific, especially countries like India and China, is where the fastest expansion is projected. Urbanization, government support, and tech advancements are the big drivers. Cost and integration can be hurdles. And the future looks increasingly automated, connected, driven by AI and IoT, with a dynamic mix of large companies and nimble startups pushing things forward.
That sums it up pretty well. What's really fascinating, I think, is how this specific technology, finding a parking spot, actually touches on so many bigger societal trends.
Like what?
Well, how we design our cities, our environmental goals, data privacy, the future of mobility with EVs and autonomous cars. It all intersects here.
Absolutely. It's more than just convenience. And on that note, here's a final thought for you, the learner, to chew on. Considering all this data, all these projections about smart parking, How might its widespread adoption not just change how you find a parking space, but actually start to fundamentally reshape our urban landscapes, our infrastructure priorities, maybe even our daily routines in ways we haven't fully anticipated yet? What are the ripple effects?
Good question to ponder.
Definitely something worth thinking about. Thanks for diving deep with us today.